We have Liz Clarke in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and also Viv Neville.
Hi, Tony. Good to be here with you.
Hello. And Viv, just in case that you didn't know, does present a show on Ignition Radio. Or she did, and then had a little bit of a break because we had some technical issues, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did, but everything's fine now. So back running, rocking and rolling on a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock.
Yes.
And I think it's a Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock as well, isn't it?
It's going to be Thursday evening now, I think.
Right.
So we're going to repeat it. Yeah, we've had a few shifts around since then, but so Thursday evening. Anyway, good morning. And so Liz and Viv, you're currently on a Celtic Christmas tour, I believe.
Yes, we've been doing this for about 5 years now. Every Christmas I come over and we do a bit of a tour, usually around the northeast, although we have gone further afield down as far as London, but the travel we prefer just to stay as local as possible around the northeast.
So where have we been?
Well, where have we been? Because I don't know the names of all the places. I have to ask Viv. I just get in the car, I get in her car and she drives. So
just point it in a direction and we're going to end up wherever we end up.
We've been to Yeardon, we've been down to Manchester, we're in Darlington on Saturday, and we're here today.
And you're here today, so how long's this song for? Is it up until Christmas?
Just a week. Sometimes we've done up to 2 weeks, because Liz is married and she's got a hubby over in Ireland, so we either just do a week or 2 weeks at Christmas now.
So you can bring him with you.
Yeah, well, I would bring him with me, but he can't get time off work. That's the problem,
This is shocking. So, the history behind you, I mean, there's a whole wealth of stuff here. I mean, you're a singer-songwriter, you've been to USA, Germany, all over the place. So, tell me about it.
Okay, well, I just love to sing, and I've always loved to sing, and then I started probably about 10 years ago writing as well, and so I write my own stuff and sing mostly my own stuff. I do some covers, but mostly do my own stuff. It does all have a Celtic, what I would say a Celtic flavour to it. Probably because I am a Celt. So it's hard to avoid that. But yeah, people tell me, oh, it's really Celtic. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you've got, according to my list here, CD, The Dream, which was recorded in Nashville.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was recorded in Nashville. A friend of mine, Neil Andrews, he's got a recording studio. It's called Room at the End because it's actually a room at the end of his bungalow, his house. So, yeah, he asked me to come over and we recorded that, and to be honest, that door just opened for me and I wasn't really looking for it, but it was great. I really enjoyed doing that. Also had a famous drummer. I'm trying to remember his name.
Chester Thompson.
Yes.
I was going to be really clever, but it says it in front of me. So
I'm awful for names, but yeah, Chester Thompson, who has travelled and played with Genesis. Yeah, he was a personal friend of Neil's. So he asked him if he would like to come and play on some of the tracks. So he did. He played on a couple of the tracks. So, I was really, just over the moon to have somebody like that playing on the album. Yeah. So The Dream, that's how The Dream came about.
Yeah, so and then in 2013, you joined up with Viv, US singers friends Jackie Morris Bates, Mary Catherine, to record a charity single. Now, how did that come about?
Yeah, Jackie Morris Bates' only daughter, unfortunately, had cancer, and the cancer got better the first time round, but then it came back, and unfortunately, Tara lost her life to a cancer. She left behind 4 little children, and over in America, as you know, medical bills are absolutely astronomical. And so we just felt like we just wanted to do something to help with those bills. And so we released this charity single. So there was 2 singer-songwriters from Nashville, Jackie Morris Bates being one of them, and Mary Catherine, who was a Celtic singer-songwriter as well. Excuse me. and Liz and I. So we recorded the music over here in the UK, and then we all recorded the vocals together in Nashville. And that single went out, and that single was What a Friend We Have in Jesus.
There will be no need for
what a friend we have in Jesus. Jesus. Vivian Neville, Liz Clarke, Jackie Morris Bates, Mary Catherine. Brilliant song. Absolutely fantastic. You know, brought me to tears there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. So, you're both Christians?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that sort of comes across really well in all the music that you do. You know, so have you been Christians all your life, or is it something that's you found at later life?
Well, it was something that I found at later life. I was probably just coming into my 30s, early 30s, and I had a young family, lots of problems, and it really was at that point that I realised, you know, all those stories that I'd heard as a child about Jesus, you know, was it real? And I decided that I would find out. And so I simply invited Christ to come and into my life, make a difference, because it was a mess. My life was a total mess at that point. And I invited him to come, and if he could do something with my life, then to do it. And I found a real peace from that point forward. Things began to change on the inside of me. Circumstances were the same for many, many years after that, but I began to change on the inside, and it was like I always had a peace inside that I hadn't had before. And that was something that was special to me. I'd been looking for peace of mind because my mind was tormented, literally tormented to the point where I couldn't sleep. So when I got that peace, that was so special to me. I was able to lie down at night, close my eyes, go to sleep for the first time in years. So I knew that something had happened to me, and I knew that it wasn't me, that it was something above and beyond me. That God had heard my cry, and that he really had come into my life. So from that point, then that's a number of years ago, and every day, I'm not saying I've never a problem, because that would be a lie, because we all have problems. But I always find a strength to bring me through. And I know that that's God, Christ in my life. That's how I came to know Christ and become a Christian.
Absolutely brilliant story. You yourself, Viv?
Yeah, mine's a little bit different. I was brought up with a Christian mum. So I always went to church, but then like the typical teenager, you get to 15 and you don't want to go anymore. Yeah. And so I just said to her, Mum, I don't want to go anymore. And she just, let me choose my own path at that point. But then when I was 19 years old, I just decided to research this person, Jesus, historically, because I was told he was in the history books, blah, blah. A lot of people say, well, you've got no proof. How do you know there's a God out there? How do you know he was real? Blah, blah. But Jesus is in the history books. So I went down that road and started to research him. And by the time I'd finished that research and I got myself a Bible and I started to read the Bible, like Liz, the greatest thing that I wanted in my life was peace. And you can't manufacture that. And when that happens to you, you can't, you can only experience it really, can't you? People can say to you, well, Jesus can bring you peace. But until you start to look at him and ask him to give you that peace, you just can't manufacture it yourself. And so a deep peace came into my life, regardless of the troubles as well. And I just knew that he was real and alive.
Yeah, I'm not a Christian,
right?
But there was one thing that happened to me when I was younger. As you say, I went to church when I was younger. Went to Sunday school, and there was one thing when I came out of the church and the Sunday school, and I think I'd been really naughty at the time, and just coming out, I said a prayer, and I just felt something sort of cleansed from top to bottom. And that has stuck with me all through my life. And it's always been there. And I've always kept an open mind in terms of sort of, the Christianity thing. So, and that's where I've stayed all my life. But that has always stuck with me. Yeah. And, I always reflect back on that, is that something is there.
Yes. We call them God incidences, not coincidences. And when God incidences happen in our lives, like you said, we never forget them because they're so real and they're so tangible. And when we reach out to God, it says, be still and know that I am God. When we reach out to him, he reaches out to us. So when we do say, oh, Lord, please help me in this situation or whatever, something will happen. And it can't be coincidence all the time. Yeah. And those things build up over the years, and until you're so sure that there is a God who is answering your prayers.
Yeah.
Well, my situation was, as I say, I was in a desperate situation, and my circumstances were very bad. And I went through a really deep depression to the point where I did try to take my own life. And so that's the point that I had reached. And it was at that point that I called out, cried out. And I know that God heard me and answered, because from that point on, that peace that came in was only from God. It couldn't be manufactured by me. And even today, it doesn't matter what I'm going through. I can call on the Lord, and I know I feel his strength and his peace just within and around me.
Yeah, I can totally associate with that, because all the way through my life, and you say we have problems. Everybody has problems, and it's just been, again through my life, and I think it probably just stems back to that event that happened to me when I was really young. That I know that doesn't matter how bad things are getting, there's always something good that's going to come around the corner.
That's your hope.
And I can, and I can name a number of things, probably a dozen or more things that have happened like that in my life. Just for the fact that things are getting really bad, but something good happens to it, and it all gets solved.
Yeah.
There's a brilliant verse in the Bible, and it says, all things work for the good to them that love God. So that means that no matter what difficulties we go through, like you said, good can come from those things. You always know that there's some good around the corner.
Yeah.
And so as Christians, that is one of the main, we hold on to that. That's hope, that even in the bad times, something good will come from even the bad things that we go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously this time of the year, is the time to sort of remember Jesus, and things like that. So which leads us on to our next song. It's called Mary Did You Know? So tell us a little bit about that.
This is a very famous carol now, actually. It's been sung many, many times over the last 10 years. It was written by two men in America. And it's now, as I say, being sung all around the world. It's just a beautiful reminder that when Mary bore Jesus, it's the story of Jesus' life, and it's asking questions as to, did Mary know these things were going to happen? Did Mary know how special this baby was? So this song unpacks those questions.
Mary, did you know your baby boy would someday walk on water? Mary, did you know your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy is come to make you new? This child that you've delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know your baby Mary, did you know your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know your baby boy will one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the greatest
Mary, did you know? Brilliant.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. You said that's been covered by some other group as well.
Yeah, I don't want to, plug other groups while you're
Absolutely.
putting our song on there.
Absolutely, but
Yeah, there's an absolutely brilliant version of that song that was just brought out last year by a group called Pentatonic. It's a lot of it is a cappella. I think, in fact, the whole lot might be a cappella if my memory serves me right. But it's just a fantastic version, and that went huge worldwide. So it is worth listening to that version of it as well.
Yeah. So, 2016, what does it have in store for you?
Well, I'm just hoping and praying that I can make another album, because I've got so many lyrics and songs that I'd love to record, and I'm just hoping that this next new year will be the year that I'll make my new album.
She's only made about 5 before. But another one would be nice, wouldn't it? But that's it, as creative people, you're continually writing songs and looking towards that next project. And I find it really funny when I'm listening to artists, and when they've wrote a new song, they always say, "Oh, this song's the best one I've ever written." And then they go on to write the next song and go, "Oh, this song's the best one I've ever written." So there's always that excitement within the work that you're doing, which is
always
great.
looking to improve, aren't you?
Yeah.
Always looking to better. So, what was 2016 having?
2016, well, Plankton Records, who we both with, the label want me to write another album. But at the moment, I'm actually working with new artists in the northeast of England. And I've come across some absolutely amazing talent. And I've set up a new business called VJ Artist Management. So I'm working with those artists now, because I'm getting a little bit old now. So I need to be working with younger people and
take a back seat and let somebody else take the limelight.
And encouraging them and helping them, developing them and mentoring them. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with them, as well as, my own music, carrying on with my own music as well.
Yeah, brilliant. So let's look forward to an absolutely prosperous 2016.
Yes.
So thank you very much, both of you, for coming in. And we're going to finish off with another one of your songs, Liz, We Three Kings. And you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, this was also recorded in Nashville, and I wanted to put my own slant on a very old carol that I love. So we went into the studio, and really, Viv and I talked about it before we went in, and we came up with this arrangement. So I hope you enjoy it, and Merry Christmas to you all, and thank you for inviting us in, Tony.
No problem. Thank you very much indeed.